Mother! That's all I hear when I see the title. It's Buster Blues from Arrested Development. Also, I see sometimes that they stylize the title with a lowercase m. That just puts me off. I mean, just capitalize that shit. But yeah, Mother! During its, I guess like its festival run, it created like quite some buzz for itself. You know, I read stuff like, oh, this movie will drive you crazy. It's so intense, it's so disturbing. It'll get under your skin. You know, there were probably a few walkouts. I mean, that's the thing. You know, like reading all of that, it mostly got me like, well, let's see about that. Plus also the reason that I decided to cover it on my channel, because, you know, like with all that said, I thought like, well, that would fit pretty well. So yes, I went to see Mother the other day, and well, even that on itself was quite an experience. I mean, despite the buzz, the theater was mostly empty. I mean, it was opening night. I sat here, this person wasn't even there, the person didn't even show up. Plus, I was soaking wet because, well, the Netherlands suck. But then I saw the movie. Directed by Darren Aronofsky, he's an interesting filmmaker. I'm not per se the biggest fan, but then again, I haven't seen half of his movies. It stars Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem as a couple who live in this big house seemingly in the middle of nowhere. He is a famous poet with a writer's blog, and she's mostly busy renovating their house after it has been burnt down. Then one day a stranger arrives, played by Ed Harris, claiming that he mistook their place for a bed and breakfast, but then he invites him to stay anyway, much to Lawrence's disapproval. And then his wife comes, and then their kids come, and before you know it, their house is filled with strangers. And, well, as intriguing as that may sound, the movie is also not really what it sounds like. And that's my biggest problem with this movie. It's almost completely reliant on it being a metaphor or an allegory for something else. Because without that, this movie makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever. It's like there isn't anything besides that, you know, besides everything that you see, everything that happens being, you know, like representing something else. And if you don't know what any of this means, something that I'm not sure if I do, it's quite frustrating. But, you know, I'll come back to the meaning of it all, like later in the video with some spoilers. The movie, it starts out quite intriguing. There's this, from the get-go, there's this sort of constant thread. You feel like something is off all the time, even if nothing is really happening. And, well, you are basically Jennifer Lawrence in this movie, you know, like everything is from her perspective. The camera is constantly like a foot away from her face. So it's like, you know, like everything that's happening to her is sort of like you're experiencing all that with her. But at the same time, we don't really know her, or we don't really get her. For example, she has this condition, I guess, for which she takes some kind of weird medicine, but we don't know anything about it. Like, we don't learn anything about it. Like, and to me, that did become a little frustrating. Especially with, like I said, like you experience everything with her, and then as things get weirder and weirder, you're really like, Jesus, Jennifer, just do something. It's maddening. It's a very unpleasant movie. It's very frustrating. And I don't even per se mean that in a negative way. I mean, for the whole 2 hours that I was sitting there, I was like completely absorbed by the film. I was really into it. The first half, it's like, okay, this is interesting. Like I said, like there's something is off and you're curious to how that's gonna play out. And, well, then you have the second half, and it's fucking ridiculous, man. Without spoiling it, it's, you know, so something weird happens and, you know, you're like, okay. But then it just keeps getting weirder and crazier, and you're like, really? And then it basically just gets more ridiculous by the shot. Like, literally, like, every shot tops the previous one. And you're like, really? And it just doesn't stop. It just goes on, and you're like, really? Really?
Really?
Man, this movie is weird. Even though I guess it makes sense if you know what it's about, and I'm doing the know between quotation marks because I'm not sure if there's just like one definitive interpretation for this movie. But still, it just kind of sucks that the movie itself, like the story itself, that at face value, it makes no fucking sense. There is nothing there really, like on itself. It has to be like all metaphorical and allegorical. That's the word. I don't know. It's not per se a bad thing. It just kind of sucks a bit. But hey, I like the way the movie looked. It was well shot on 16mm. It gave it this nice like grainy look. The performances were okay. Definitely Ed Harris. He was like my favorite performance in the movie. Jennifer Lawrence, I'm not the biggest fan of, but you know that's a different story. But yeah, acting was okay. Interesting lack of soundtrack, but at the same time a very like well done sound design. It's a well-made movie, and well I think I liked the movie. So here's some spoilers coming up. Not sure if they're spoilers. It's more just like what I think the movie is about. You know, like what it's actually about. So yeah. So what does it mean? And this is actually also on Wikipedia. I didn't get it from there, but it's basically like exactly the same. So the character of Javier Bardem, it's God. Jennifer Lawrence is Mother Nature. Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer, she plays the wife of the stranger. They're Adam and Eve. Their two sons come, Abel and Cain, and so on and so forth. And well, with all of that in mind, it does make a lot more sense. Especially the second half of the movie, you know, like I said, like when everything goes like bananas like crazy, you now sort of understand what is going on and why. To a certain degree, I feel like there's still like some loose ends, and well, like I said, I'm not even sure if that is the definitive or the only interpretation of the movie. Plus, I believe that there's probably more going on. You know, like it's about the environment and maybe also even about like artistry and fame and or like relations. There's a lot there. It's very ambitious, the movie, a little too ambitious probably. So yeah, with all of that in mind, I guess I like the movie. I'd watch it again, definitely. It's quite an experience actually. I actually wanted to make this a short video, as in like, hey, like check out this movie. But I guess talking about this movie, you can't really make a short video. Although I am gonna perhaps abruptly end this video here. So, any of you guys already seen this movie? I mean, I know that it is really dividing audiences, so I would love to hear your reaction. You know, like I said, I think I like the movie, but I can completely understand people hating it. I just want to hear your guys' reactions. Let me know, and see you guys next time. Cheers.